my big sister, Megan. So here's Melissa.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming out. My name is Melissa Hosick. I was not born, but I was completely raised in Hammonton. I was diagnosed in 2003 with bipolar disorder, but I definitely had the symptoms since I was a teenager, and some people here can completely attest to that. And I'm very lucky that I have a full-time job, I lead a professional life, great family, great boyfriend, and people don't talk about mental illness. And because we don't talk about it, there's a stigma attached to it. And I wanted to give back it's dedicated, part of it is dedicated to my therapist, Mary Ann, here, because she helped, the people who help you get through it, you have to give back in some way. I decided I wanted to do something that was for kids to start the conversation early, because stigma happens, they learn it from other people, and the way to do it is to talk about it, have it in the open, explain it in a way that's age appropriate. And so my sister Alma Rose Hoyos has a BFA in theater from Miami, New World School of the Arts in Miami. And so she's going to read through it, and you'll be able to see it on the screen, so you get an idea what the visual style is. And afterwards, I will answer any questions that you have. I'm pretty much an open book now, which I wasn't before, and I'll be signing. You can buy copies. So,
my big sister Megan. My name is Katie. I have a mommy, a daddy, and a teenage sister named Megan. But things have changed as I grew up. My sister's very different. Megan was very close to me. We played dress-up together, sang silly songs, we baked, played outside, and she is my favorite person. She is smart, funny, and I want to be like her when I grow up. But Megan is different now. She's not the sister I grew up with. Megan is full of energy sometimes like she used to be. She can be very happy and rushes to play with me so she can do other things. A few weeks later, she yells at me and slams her bedroom door. I did nothing wrong, so I'm confused. Sometimes I cry. It has been one of those weeks where Megan has not left her room. My mother cries and does not know what to do. Even my father is worried about how she has changed. My sister, the strong, energetic teenager, has been lost. One day, Megan refuses to open her door. My parents try to unlock her room, and I hear my mother scream. My father calls 911, and people in uniforms come. They carry out my sister to an ambulance, but I can't see her face. I am scared. My parents are nervous. I'm scared I will never see my sister again. A week later, Megan comes home. She seems quiet and distant. I wrote a card for her while she was away and put it by her door. It was a drawing of our family when we were happy. I hear her cry in her room. Why did my card make her so sad? Megan calls me to her room. She is pale, but smiles. I crawl into her bed and she strokes my hair. What is wrong? Are you dying? I love you. It is a long story, and I don't know if you will understand. You know how I've been very happy and very sad and very angry? Yes, I have seen you all these ways. Did Mommy and Daddy and I do something wrong? No, you did not. It turns out that I have an illness that makes me feel those ways. One minute I feel very energetic, but then extreme sadness follows, and I don't want to be here. What is wrong? Are you dying? I love you. It's not about you. I love you all so very much. It's something that involves my emotions. They tell me that medicine and talking to someone who understands will help me get better. It will take time, but I hope I never scare you again. Is it cancer, Megan? No. This is called bipolar disorder. What does that mean? It means that I feel extremes, both very happy and very sad. I will always have it. I want to make her happy again. Can I help you, Megan? Katie, I just need you to be as loving as you always have. It reminds me to be happy. Big sister, I will always love you. You are family. I know, Katie, but there may be times when I make you sad by accident. Mom and Dad are watching from the door. They sit on the edge of the bed with us. We all love you, Megan. No matter how you feel, you must remember that. We are a strong family like before. I did nothing wrong to my sister. She will work to get better, and I will be there for her like she was for me. And slowly, I see my old Megan again. Sometimes she is sad or angry, but she is better. Now we all play when she is not in school, and she is teaching me how to understand my friends who are different. I see kids in school who struggle in their own ways. They are different. All I can do is be their friend, like I am to Megan. That is what counts. The end.
So it's meant to be short, sweet for a little kid who, might not have the longest attention span, because there are even some adults who don't have it either. And so if anyone has any questions, I am going to be signing. If you have any questions now that you think, you would like to ask me, you feel free. If not, I'm going to sign. We have copies. So there are $5 cash and $5.50 for a credit card, and you can get up to 2 copies each. And thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate you all coming out. This has meant a lot to me. I wrote this in 2011, and now it's finally here. And thank you to Toy Market, to Jim Donio and Kelly and everyone, and Zane for making it happen. So thank you so much. Sasha Borisic, she actually, this was in my interview in the Press of Atlantic City, my freshman English project partner, Jess Reynolds, who's from Folsom and went to Hammonton. She lives in LA and she's a photographer, and I was like, I need to find an illustrator on Facebook. Please, does anyone know anyone? She's like, oh, I have this friend who used to work for DC Comics, and I'm like, okay, let's start working. I have never met Sasha in person. We've never talked on the phone. I sent her the ideas of what I wanted. I sent her, the manuscript, and I gave her some images that I found on Google, saying this is kind of what I want, and she came up with it completely. She read it. She was on board. There were only 2 times I asked her to change things because they weren't accurate to what the experience would be, and it just happened. And A.D. Ching, who graduated from City College of New York, where I currently work, did the graphic designs. We did the cover and the materials, but it really came down, it was a group effort. We have never met each other. It is completely, this is what the internet can do. You can bring people together who have different skill sets, and you can make something that we hope will make an impact. We're not doing this for money. We're doing this as a complete labor of love. If we can just help one family be able to get through that process and understand what the ramifications are and what the family dynamic is and what those of us who are living with the illness need from our family and a way to explain it, that's all what it's about in the end. That's what it is for me. Because actually, my first semester of my senior year is when I was on medical leave, and I was first diagnosed, and they put me in the hospital. But they are diagnosing younger. Just a statistic, 1 in 4 Americans lives with a mental illness, and a large portion of that's bipolar, but it's depression, there's anxiety, schizophrenic disorders, so it is all over the place. People don't talk about it, though. I didn't talk about it at all. I just kind of hid it. I think everyone knew, but we didn't talk about it. And I was at the point like, look, if we don't talk about it, who's going to talk about it? I'm not Catherine Zeta-Jones or Russell Brand, and people are like, oh, I have it, I live with it. And you look up to them like, oh, they can get away with saying that. People who are professional, lead productive, independent lives, we need to talk about it because more people will feel comfortable that they can say, hey, I live with it. I didn't tell my boss until 3 weeks ago. I've worked there for almost 2 years. And he called someone crazy. He was frustrated with someone. I said, look, I have a diagnosis. I'm bipolar. And it was fine. I was terrified of telling him and what the ramifications would be professionally. So I did it. I was like, I feel so much better. I don't feel like I'm just like, I have this filter on all the time. And if I'm really anxious, because I would get very anxious at my job. It's a very high stress job.
So what would you recommend that would be some things that parents should really pay attention to?
For me, I had always been very energetic, but I couldn't stand. I had to fidget. I had to, you could ask my dad 2 nights ago? 2 nights ago?
Yeah, 2 nights ago.
I had these little twitches. I couldn't sit still. I talk very quickly to begin with. I'm already trying to be at half speed, and you can see I'm kind of fast. I would speak so quickly that no one could understand what I was saying. I would not sleep. Well, I would sleep, but it was really erratic. I would be doing 10 things at a time. I'm like, I want to do this, and I want to do, I was in band, I was in choir, I was in this, and I was in that, and it was that, and that, and that, which we do to kids anyway, but I had to do them, but I wouldn't always finish and work through things. I do a lot of starting, and then just kind of go, I don't want to do it anymore. No, now it is when parents are really pushing kids in activities, but I would keep doing it, and too many, and then I would get to this point where I crash. I didn't want to get out of bed, and that's, when you have a kid who's energetic and they don't want to get out of bed at all, they don't want to do anything, they don't want to eat, they want to do anything. That's a sign that there's something more going on, and it could be something happened at school, it could be something that triggered them, or it could be that also with an underlying issue. And that's when if you see that kind of behavioral change, that's when you want to see if maybe there are clinicians or people. Now there's school psychologists and special ed teachers that know what the signs are, and starting at that point, and then if professional care is needed. But if you went to an office and they saw something that was not a clinical magazine or people, they might pick this up and read it and start asking questions if it's their sibling, if it's a parent, or if it's the kid themselves. So that's what you just kind of have to watch. It can be a gradual change, or if there's a really traumatic event, that can trigger it too. For me, that's how my diagnosis began. Any other questions?
I congratulate you.
Thank you. I didn't think I was going to get to this point, so I want to get back. And the only way, if we're those of us who are lucky to get through and be able to lead functional, happy lives, you have to get back and you have to talk about it. That's the goal of this. And if I can help one family, one kid not say things or be able to understand what's going on with the family member, that's for me. That's all it is. It's not about the money. It's about making a difference.